Sawadee Cup and welcome to another episode here for the Funky Pod. And it's time for me, your Prof Reacts 2 once again. And well, it's another Andrew Tate thing. And hey, but before you think like, oh my God, again? Well, yeah, again, but because, well, he's still in the news. But not now for the reasons you might think. Because as far as I'm concerned, nothing much has changed over the last week or so since the last time we talked about Andrew Tate in this podcast. I think he's still detained, is he? I'm not sure. Like I read that they now seized some of his supercars. So apparently they did belong to him. Interesting. But I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about something else that I read online. And apparently that there are schools out there posted in the UK that are now trying to re-educate their students due to their exposure to Andrew Tate. What? And as someone that works in education and in academia, let me phrase it a little bit more academic. What? Re-educate? Excuse me? I don't know if it's because of like, I don't know, that just sounds so wrong. No, I was about to say like maybe it's because of my heritage or whatever. No, it doesn't matter where you come from. This should always sound wrong for anyone. Re-educate students based on their exposure to an online bro. If Andrew Tate or anyone else that spits out stuff online has a huge impact on a child, just based on what they're saying, then maybe you should look at yourself as the parents, as the teachers, and think, wow, we messed up here. What did you do wrong? You should not be like having a class telling students, hey, this Andrew Tate guy is bad. If he's bad, and again, I don't want to make it just about him, but the students should see that by themselves. If you actually raise critical thinking students and you encourage critical thinking in class, not just mindless following of any narrative, then they will realize it by themselves. And I talked about this before, and we talk about it now again. Like that's the main issue with education. And yes, I work in education, and I see that all the time, and it's frustrating. But why? Because it's easy. Like if you say, hey, I tell you what's wrong and what's right, follow what I tell you, remember that, put it down in the test, answer the questions with what I want to hear, and you get an A. That's the problem. And those students will listen to people like Andrew Tate, like, yeah, he's not like our teachers. See, he breaks the mold. He's different. That's why if you would actually teach the way it's supposed to, and I'm not telling you what's wrong or right, but if you would actually, no matter how you do it, but if you would enable critical thinking in classes, students wouldn't have that problem, wouldn't be like that, open to BS like that. Then they would critically think about what you teach them. They would critically think about what Andrew Tate is trying to teach people, because they would be critical thinkers. And that's what we want. Well, that's what we should want, right? I don't take Andrew Tate. I was about to say I don't take him serious. No, I take him serious. Of course, he's got millions of followers. Yes, take him serious to some extent, like as a force that has some kind of impact. But I wouldn't say that Andrew Tate is a threat to humankind or to our society or whatever. Because I would believe that the kids, the teenagers, the students right now, that they are smart enough to see that they can detect the BS. And then let them run with it for a week, for a month, for 6 months, whatever. They will realize it. Yes, of course, there could be some extreme situations. I understand. I'm talking about the general student body right now, because that's basically what this news was talking about. That like large classes in the UK are being re-educated. What? Just using the term alone, re-education. I'm telling you what you can believe in and what not. mean, yeah, maybe it's my heritage. Maybe it's where I am located right now, because like all of the countries have done this to some extent, and we always see that it's not the way it's supposed to. It's not how it's supposed to be done, and it will never work. And if you force a certain narrative onto someone, they will always break free from it, even if you have a positive mindset behind it. They probably don't think they're doing something wrong, I guess, right? They're like, hey, we want to save our children from Andrew Tate. Okay, cool. But it's not by, you know what it is? Like, if you prohibit something, like you can't do this, you can't watch that, what are they going to do? They're going to watch it. Duh. So, yes, be proactive. Yes, talk about it. Talk about him. Talk about how he uses the media to get the attention, how he uses like common narratives and just tries to go against them just for the attention so that people talk about him. Do that. Explain that in your classes. Don't just be like, no, he's bad, it's all bad, don't listen. That's not going to work, and it's just a terrible approach. So, yes, in case you haven't noticed, I'm firmly against the re-education approach. It's ridiculous, and it's never going to work. So, again, be proactive, be open-minded, allow critical thinking, encourage critical thinking, because even if that re-education works for just a moment, like students are like, okay, if you say so, I'm not going to listen to Andrew Tate anymore. Are you going to be there for the rest of their lives? Are you going to tell them like every time you can listen to this, but you cannot listen to that? Are you going to make rules for everything? I hope not, because otherwise you're gonna, I don't know, it's close to a dictatorship then again, right? So embrace critical thinking, trust the students, trust the future. They will be smart enough if you just give them the space to learn and grow. And they will realize, does what Andrew Tate says make sense, or does it not? Shall we believe him? Shan't we? Do we give him attention, or are we just going to ignore him? And if there are enough critical thinkers out there that approach it like this, Andrew Tate's going to be gone in no time. Just as fast as he came like to fame, he's going to be gone again. Because once you actually critically think about it, you realize it's BS. You realize, yes, he's great at talking. He has some solid talking points, very, very easy talking points, but some of them make sense, of course. But then the fluffy stuff around, it's just mostly BS. And you come to the realization if you actually listen to the content. So if you say, don't listen to this, then you just drive them more into that direction. So, critical thinking people, not re-education. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Should we ban Andrew Tate? Is re-education necessary? Do you agree with my take? Let me know in the comments at funkitpod on social media, funkitpod@gmail.com via email. Like, share, subscribe. Rate this podcast if possible, because then we can reach a bigger audience and then we can have hopefully bigger discussions on topics like this. Because I'm sincerely curious, like what you think about that. Shout out, let me know. Stay safe, take care. Don't let anyone censor you. And we'll talk soon. Sawadee Krap.